Workday. It's a system that many of you have heard of. It's the newest system that's been around the least amount of time in our top 5 list, but it's grown phenomenally over the first few years of the first decade of its existence. It was built as a cloud solution, so it's got a certain amount of maturity and advanced cloud capabilities if that's important to you. It's not a system that's being migrated from on-premise to the cloud. It was already built in the cloud, which can be appealing to a lot of organizations. Workforce is very common in healthcare, government, hospitals, education. There's certain industry niches that it seems to do really well in. But having said that, we also see some manufacturing and distribution and aerospace and food types of companies use it as well. It's fairly industry agnostic, like a lot of our HCM top list is, but those tend to be some of the segments that they are the strongest in and that we tend to see the most commonly. A couple other things to note about Workday. They are an HCM first type of system, but they have in some ways become sort of the Salesforce of the HCM space. For those of you that don't know, Salesforce is a CRM or customer relationship management system that's cloud-based. But the reason I call Workday the Salesforce of HCM is because Salesforce and Workday are both taking a similar strategy in that they're building a whole ecosystem of third-party applications that support their product outside of their core areas of competency. So in the case of Workday, they've built and allowed third-party application developers to start building functionality that is outside the HCM space or supports the core HCM space. So for example, Workday has started to build financial capabilities. That's allowed them to provide more of an ERP type of capability, a back office financial type of capability. So companies that want to lead with HCM but might want to add financials or they might want to add other competencies later on will find that the Workday ecosystem is getting bigger and there's more and more third-party applications and third-party developers that are building systems that can bolt onto the Workday platform. Now, probably the biggest risk and the biggest thing keeping Workday from being at the #1 slot in our list is, first of all, the track record. They have less of a track record than some of the other systems in our top 5. But the biggest thing is that there have been a number of implementation challenges with the company. The company has grown very quickly, and what I think is happening there is that we're having a discrepancy or high variation in the quality of resources and the quality of implementations. We as a company have been asked to clean up a number of Workday implementations. We've been asked to come in and help evaluate replacements for Workday because the Workday implementations didn't go well, and so now they're looking for alternatives to replace Workday. So that is still a minority of the time. A majority are not in that situation, but relative to the number of installations that Workday is seeing, there appears to be a higher number of troubled Workday implementations. That may not all be related to the software. A lot of that is related to the way it's being implemented, but it's something to be very aware of in that there is a concerning trend in the space. And until that settles down, until we see the Workday's growth isn't getting the best of them, that's going to probably hold them back a bit. But having said all that, it's a very strong product. A lot of companies are very successful with it. That's enough to land Workday at #2 on our list. SAP SuccessFactors. They've recently rebranded themselves as SuccessFactors HCM Suite. And SAP bought SuccessFactors about 10 years ago. The company had started in the early 2000s as a HCM-focused type of software. So it's a very mature HCM solution. A lot of larger organizations are using it, so it can be very suitable for organizations that have larger, more complex employee bases and workforces. Some of the unique things that put SuccessFactors in our top 5, in addition to be able to support complex organizations and workforces, it also does some other capabilities or functions that not everyone in the top 5 can handle well. For example, workforce planning is something that SuccessFactors does well. So when you think about what is our overall headcount needs, what's our succession planning and things of that nature, SuccessFactors is strong in that area. When it comes to employee engagement and workforce analytics and just tracking data related to the workforce, that's something else that SuccessFactors tends to thrive in. And because the company is owned by SAP, it is also benefiting from the fact that Qualtrics is one of the products that SAP owns. So when it comes to customer engagement and surveys and trying to track employee data, Qualtrics is another tool that can be used in conjunction with SuccessFactors if needed. It also features a learning management system. And learning management, for those of you that don't know, is helping track training and certifications, and if there's internal training and workshops or classes or online courses that you need or want your people to take prior to moving to the next level or prior to taking on certain responsibilities, SuccessFactors has the learning management system capabilities to be able to track that sort of need. So probably the biggest point to consider if you're thinking about whether or not SuccessFactors is right for you or not is if you're a larger, more complex organization, it's probably a better fit than if you're a smaller, less complex organization. And if you're a larger organization that's implementing SAP, S/4HANA, or one of the other SAP products, SuccessFactors is oftentimes the default HCM offering within that. Doesn't mean you have to implement it if you're implementing S/4HANA, but there is some value in having that integration and having the software come from the same partner. So with all that being said, that's enough to land SAP SuccessFactors at number 4 on our list.